paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Welcome to Brainstorm Brewery. Welcome to Brainstorm Brewery. Welcome to Brainstorm Brewery. Heroes in a Podcast. Magic Finance.
Cowabunga. Oh, Magic
It's Magic Finance, bro.
I missed it. I thought we were all going to join in a resounding.
Oh,
Never
no.
before have I wanted more to be copyright striked by YouTube's algorithm.
No, I'm too bad at mimicking it for that to flag the algorithm. Props to JJ, though. We have JJ on the show, and he steps on the bit. Excellent work.
Yep.
This is actually a tip I picked. Yeah, this is a tip I picked up from watching a lot of radio shows on YouTube, which follow me. I guess that makes sense. When you have someone on, like a guest, you're supposed to be argumentative with them at the beginning rather than nice to them. That way people know it's not going to be a stupid episode where you just like bull.
All circle jerk.
Yeah. So instead we have JJ on and I pick a fight with them. This is the Dan Lebatard does this. It's excellent. That's all. I'm just teaching our audience
Corbin, you're
about how to
describing negging. You're describing negging.
I don't know what that means. I am talking about watching. You got to take my words for what I am talking about. Watching radio shows on YouTube as one does in the year 2026.
The podcast version of negging is my new favorite. Describe this.
I like when Nick Wright is a guy I like to watch on TV. He's very popular on First Things First on Fox Sports. They have probably the biggest sports show that isn't specifically Stephen A. Smith. Right. Well, every time he goes on Dan Lebatard's show, the first thing they do is ask him how much money he lost gambling on the Chiefs this year. And the man gambles like 10 grand a game. So he lost just like probably 50 to 100 grand this year. And it's incredible that I think they just immediately start trolling him about that when he comes on. That's all.
But he's the one thing I have learned from casually watching clips of First Things First is that he's not just a gambler, he's a degenerate gambler. Like he wants the like 200 to 1 odds.
Yeah, he's my people,
He wants
man.
to lose over and over again. And
no,
then
that's not true. He wants 200 to 1 odds if he believes they're good odds. Just like any good Magic player. Do you know how much I would kill to have Nick fucking Wright on Brainstorm Brewery to talk about the over? What if we got David Williams, Nick Wright on this show to talk about the overlap between Magic and poker, right? I know, Dave, maybe that's something we can make happen. I'm just saying.
That would be hot.
It would be cool. He's a Magic player and he doesn't know it. And I think that's tragic.
I mean, I think that's true of a lot of people who enjoy those kind of
he's a Magic player and he doesn't know it. Just like every kid who is watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now on their YouTube, as Corbin would say, on their YouTube.
That is true that a lot of people were watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1990 not knowing that it would make them a Magic player.
The pipeline is real. The sewer pipeline to being a Magic player.
I'm just so over hearing anyone say anything different, and we're going to get into this before we talk about the pre-release. But my store is just filled with people. And it's either like I started in 1997, or it's like I started with Avatar. I started with Spider-Man. I started with Final Fantasy. Like this guy got into the game like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, I just love Final Fantasy. He bought a box, opened good stuff, traded it back into me so he could get another box of play boosters of Final Fantasy. And he's got his art cards all in like not just hard sleeves, but the touch shirt, whatever. JJ might know what I'm talking about. The hard point ones that you would like put in to grade it or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Is it one of the magnetic ones? Or
yes, the magnetic things.
Ones?
Yeah, the magnetic things, whatever they're called.
Those are terrible to actually protect your cards, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
anyone who is considering using them, they are awful.
Even putting your cards in hard sleeves is usually not.
I know of somebody who shipped their Pro Tour Cloud in one of those, and it damaged it. The foil Pro Tour Cloud.
Oof. Well, you know what it tells me when I see people with their cards like that? It tells me that they came from other games, because that's what you do in Pokemon or One Piece. When you open up a sweet hit, is you put it in a inner sleeve, and then you put it in the hard outer sleeve, or if it's really good, you put it in the sports cards all go in the other thing. So like, I don't know, man. It's just so tough hearing this, like literally multiple people in my store in the past week. We sold out our pre-release of people who were like, just like, oh, I like Ninja Turtles. Which is not to say anything about anything except that there are people out there who like it, despite what the internet might tell you otherwise. I'm not going to make a claim as to what percentage of those people are. However, on that note, it brings us to our first point of the show, which is a Mark Rosewater blog post that DJ dug up here.
Dug up is a strong word. It's just out there, man.
I'm trying to give you credit,
Give
He
me
scoured
credit.
the internet for days.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
To
he
find
went
this
deep,
publicly
he
posted
explored.
blogatog.
DJ's a spelunker.
Is that what you think rock climbing is?
I've actually spelunked before. No, I know what I'm talking about on this
How
one.
did that end, Corbin?
JJ, we don't talk about that. 10
now we
acres.
are.
10 acres burned down one time.
You set one forest fire, and that's all. people
One
remember.
time, 10 acres burned down along with a vehicle or two. Whatever, dude. They weren't my cars.
Allegedly.
Oh, they're not cars anymore, so definitely not. They're just
That's
husks of
true.
metal.
That's true. There's photos. They are husks of metal. But stuff happens. All right, we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about the Mark
Corbin
Rosewater
puts the
blog
blaze
post.
in Trailblazer. Let's just put it that way.
That's not terribly far off. But it wasn't me. Nothing about this was me. I was just along for the ride. Go on.
Just following orders, Corbin Hostler, everybody. Known ice sympathizer.
Talk about the blog post.
Mark
Please.
Rosewater replied to somebody named Moonlit Stargazer who asked, did Edge of Eternities or Spider-Man sell better? And he said, Spider-Man sold better. Edge of Eternities did great and it beat our expectations, but Spider-Man is one of the top 10 best-selling sets of all time.
I'm shocked he's answered this. I think Mark Rosewater is completely, based on the tenor of a bunch of his replies over the years at this point to this sort of stuff, I think he is just so sick of the shit from people that he is just like, I've explained this a million different ways. I'm just going to tell you our fucking sales data. Everyone says Spider-Man was a flunk. It turns out it was one of the 10 best sets of all time. Even though we do think it sucked as a set, people made this, like, the narrative is out there. Like, and this is so stupid, but the narrative is out there from people that Spider-Man tanked so hard. Universes Beyond we've got it on the ropes, boys. If we just say a lot of mean things about anyone who likes Ninja Turtles, it'll sell badly too. And then they'll cancel Universes Beyond. We did it, Reddit. And instead, yeah, it turns out Spider-Man was a top 10 selling set.
Yeah, I mean, I think that some of this is harder to see when you see like pallets upon pallets of Spider-Man at Costco and they're listed at, $10, $15 on closeout and they were originally starting at $30 and they still aren't moving. Like, and that varies. Obviously, Costco is very like store specific and based on their warehouse distribution. And that's like one small minutia of an outlet for them. But I think that's the kind of thing that people spur to then be like, this can't have done well.
And to add on to what I expect to hear in the comments immediately, what I have seen in the comments of other people who have already talked about this is people are using the argument against Rosewater of, well, you're just saying that because anything you sell to an LGS or Costco counts as sold. Like, Mark Rosewater is not counting up every booster pack that was opened or every pack that a player opened. Their metrics are based on the number of boxes they were able to sell to local game stores and to big boxes and to all GameStop, wherever. And if you add all those up, and even if said stores are holding the bag at the end, the argument is that Wizards is saying, well, the set did very well, even if it was bad, because we boondoggled a bunch of people into thinking it was another Final Fantasy. It still counts, asterisk. It's still the best selling set of all time, even if there are products rotting on the shelves. And I think there's another layer to that, which is print run.
That's what's key here. Go ahead.
Like, I'm going to make up the numbers, but like it just to use as easy math ratios. Like, if Wizards knows that Lord of the Rings, like we have to go all the way back to Lord of the Rings for this, right? Because of how like design timelines work. Like if Wizards knows Lord of the Rings almost 3 years ago did gangbusters, amazing, oh my god, this set crashed all of the expectations, blew everything out of the water, into the sky, into the stratosphere, into the edge of eternities, whatever. Then like they have to plan their next sets around that expectation. And so they expect, they're like, okay, Lord of the Rings did 10x our expectations. Final Fantasy's going to do 25 or 30x our expectations, which means Spider-Man will be in that realm. And if Spider-Man doesn't hit that realm of Final Fantasy, even if they print 10 million boxes of Spider-Man to 1 million boxes of Edge of Eternities, and your LGS doesn't have Edge of Eternities because Wizards printed according to their own expectations because they have to throw a dart at a moving target from 2 years from now, then the customer expectation, or like the way the person the way the Overton window works is that the average person says like, well, my LGS couldn't get Edge of Eternities and they have all these Spider-Man, so clearly Mark Rosewater is a lying, conniving sack of shit who doesn't understand the average Joe with a straw in his mouth and a feather cap or whatever. Like that is the way the players are seeing it. But like if Wizards sets their expectations for Spider-Man at 50x and it only does 25x their expectations, it still does very, very, very well, but they hedged their bets so that players would be able to find Spider-Man. Correct. Because the other side of the coin is if they underprint it and then you do have this bottleneck, this chokehold where players can't get it, that is worse.
And you can't reprint easily.
Right.
Because its universe is beyond.
You can't.
So there's a real penalty to miss. There's a real but like the point is like there's a real penalty to missing there. Whether like you can, yes, it's universes beyond. That's the reason, but that doesn't matter if you're the product designer. You don't control whether universes beyond exists. You know.
Well, I mean, just think about Final Fantasy. I bet you they wish they had 50, 70, maybe 100% more printed of Final Fantasy. They would rather there have not been a demand driving a secondary market on boxes to make them go to the moon. They would rather sell 100% more boxes and the price be closer to their suggested retail.
Exactly.
And I think that's possibly what you were looking at with Spider-Man. Like there are a bunch of extra booster packs and things like that, and it's possible that that's because instead of printing, we'll say, if Edge of Eternities is 1x widgets, they printed Spider-Man at 3x widgets. And so, yeah, there's a lot of extra widgets out there now that are Spider-Man widgets, but that doesn't mean that it didn't sell better.
Yes. And to your point, like that's not just something we're conjecturing. Mark Rosewater says in this, we're going to go back to this quote, Edge of Eternities did great and beat our expectations, but Spider-Man is one of the top 10 best-selling sets of all time. So like, if there is not Edge of Eternities on your shelf, but there is Spider-Man, but it sold better. Like it's just he's literally telling you they printed more of it, right? So at least that's my read of that, right? Like they printed to an expectation level, and it's good because maybe he's not telling you that Spider-Man exceeded their expectation level. Maybe they expected it to be top 5 and it's number 7, right?
Right.
But he is saying it did well, right? Yeah. It wasn't this bomb that people envision it to be. So I have two thoughts I want to add here, and they kind of speak to both sides of this. Calling Spider-Man itself, like this is what I just say there, right? Like Spider-Man can be a top selling set of all time and still have missed expectations. He's not saying that it didn't there. So that's not to say even that like Spider-Man, like they could view it internally or we can view it externally as not being as good as it should. But that can be true. However, it's also true that Magic has just grown a ton. So maybe Lorwyn Eclipsed is a top 10 best-selling set of all time or a top 15 best-selling set of all time or whatever, right? We don't know.
I'm very curious what that list looks like now that you mention it. Like how many sets from RTR back are in the top 10 selling best sets of all time numbers-wise? Because the print run...
at the time they were printed?
We know that they said that Avatar was like top
Avatar's top 3, I think. I think Final
Avatar-
Fantasy was number
okay,
1
so-
and Avatar was top 3.
and
Lord
and
of the
Edge of
Rings has
it
to be up there.
and Spider-Man's top 10. So we've got 3 UB properties in the top 10. Like anything from RTR back is dead in the water. Magic
Yeah.
is X times bigger than it was then. Like, so that's also to say that Spider-Man being in the top 10 is not itself a reflection of the quality or even how it did compared to expectations, because the game is itself bigger. On the other hand, this is something that's true about Universes Beyond that is not true about Edge of Eternities. When a random person comes into my store, or a new to Magic player, or a somewhat new to Magic player, and they want a random pack of Magic cards, they're not going for Edge of Eternities. They're not going for Lorwyn Eclipse. They're going for Final Fantasy, like the player I talked about who's chasing Final Fantasy boxes. They're grabbing Spider-Man. So and that's even more true if you extend it to, say, something like Vintage Stock or Costco, or somewhere where you're going to have more casual people who interact with Magic. So the tail of sales on those sets is much, much longer, I would imagine, than an Edge of Eternities.
So I think part of that, Corbin, is like, and this is the general appeal of Universes Beyond and why Magic wants to do it, right? Like why it's a good business decision for them to focus on cross-universe things and cross-pollinating. This is the same reason that Hollywood does it, right? If you're looking at a list of the movies that are available to go watch on a Friday night because you want to go watch a movie, are you going to go watch Jurassic Park 4? Or are you going to watch Escape of Dinosaur Island? Right? Like you're like, well, I know what Jurassic Park is, so
Exactly.
I'm going to go do that because
Yeah.
my risk tolerance is lower because I have an idea of what the property is.
I
Right?
was
If you're
thinking
coming
about
in-
this. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
If you're coming into a game store, right, and you're like, oh, I don't really play Magic, but I love Turtles, and you see, what's that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles card game? I didn't know they had a new card game out. Oh, well, that's Magic. And they're like, okay, well, I like Turtles. Give me some of that, right? Like they may never play games of Magic, but they like the collectible aspect of it.
Right.
And like that's just the benefit of it.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about that principle the other day, about how, like in principle, none of us want to be like that. We all want to explore new properties and like new things. And we think that when we find something like that we like, we think everyone should try it and give it a shot. And then I think about like the times I've gone to a movie and it wasn't what I thought it was or wasn't what I expected. And I just didn't.
Bro,
wasn't
I have been
usually happy
trying
with
for
that.
like 6 months to get people to read this manga called Kagurabachi. Holy sh! It's impossible to get people to try something new. I swear to, like, it's, if you liked Naruto, Bleach, etc., it's so good. It's very new. It's cool, enchanted sword stuff. The whole premise is like, what if Oppenheimer had a kid? And then everyone keeps going up to that kid who is trying to collect all the nukes, and they're like, "Man, kid, your dad made some awesome nukes. I loved it. I really appreciate his work. I'm gonna keep using these. I'm gonna go use these nukes, okay?" And like, oh, if you are any sort of anime manga fan, any sort of shonen fan, pick up Kagurabachi. It's on Shonen Jump. Do yourself a god favor. I expect a few messages in a couple weeks saying, "DJ, thank you for the recommendation. It was very good." Like, try something new.
But nobody wants to your point,
eat
right?
your veggies. They're like, God, man, like,
I think a part of this is risk aversion. Like
Yeah.
one of the things
They don't
that
wanna
we
waste
see
their
data
time.
wise when we start talking about younger generations, and it's still true of all of us.
you have a
but we're
limited
seeing
amount
that
of time
risk
and
aversion.
attention and money, and it's very valuable now.
Well, it's not just that, but like people in general over the last several decades have become more and more risk averse, like than usual. So like, and there is a social risk when you share a property that's not anchored to something that people culturally all know that people like Scrubs. Everyone universally, no matter who they are, no one in the world dislikes the show Scrubs. And so
Deep
we
cut,
know
deep
for a
cut.
fact.
Hold on. I can't wait to watch that.
So we know for a fact when somebody goes, man, Scrubs relaunched. They're so popular. They came back now with a new season years later, and everyone's applauding it and saying it's great. That's an easy thing to try to push somebody to. But if you have a brand new piece of culture and you go, hey, you need to dive into this world and this universe, whether it's a book or a manga or a TV show, and they don't like it, it ends up feeling a little bit like you were being socially judged for suggesting something that's not good to them. And I
That's
think
true,
the
too.
reality is we feel bad when we do that. So it's a lot easier to be like, oh, you like turtles. Why don't you play Magic with me? We'll play Turtles Magic, or we'll play whatever. And then there's less of that barrier.
Yeah.
But I think it's really making our art culture worse. Like, not to get into an art versus like art versus like pandering, but I think that's kind of where that comes
the word
down
of the
to.
year is slop, JJ.
Slop. Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean,
it's-
it's not slop. Slop is like a tier below. It's like if we're going to talk about it in the tier of movies, right? There are art house movies, they have something really deep to say. Then you have like your Oscar award movies. They also have something deep to say, but they're a little more broadly known. Then you have your popcorn movies, your Transformers. Yeah, these things might not be good movies, but people will go see them in droves because, hey, it has the name and it's going to be action packed and I can turn my brain off. And then you have AI slop that doesn't actually make any sense or is just whatever meme generation they want.
So I think that one of the interesting notes on that, and this kind of comes down, to one of the reasons that Universes Beyond exists, is that advertisers target kids, and we wonder why so many people want to talk about Jake Paul or whatever, insert in Mr. Beast, insert influencer here kind of thing. But by the time someone is like 35, they don't want to do anything new. They don't have time to learn new stuff. They're bombarded by every moment of every day. They don't have the energy to learn new things. It's really hard to get people to do that. And that goes for anything, right? To DJ's point about getting people into a manga, right? Like it's only
It's
why you
113 chapters right now. You can catch up.
Yeah, well,
that's why I
we're
told
at the
Corbin
po-
about One Piece. It's only 1,000 episodes.
Look at what's popular and what's like. JJ brought up Scrubs. It's a good point because the things that are being made now, all in this vein, we've seen it over the past, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, maybe as far back as 10 years, but probably not even going back that far. The massive revival of things that were popular with millennials, and it's the things that are being pushed are the things that were popular with the younger generation 15 years ago. And we're not starting something new that we're going to watch 15 years from now. We're watching the thing we watched from 15 years ago that reminds us of the thing we liked from 15 years ago, right? Like if you just look at culture all around us, not even just like video games and Fortnite, like that just literally dominates what's going on. Like Ninja Turtles itself is having a bit of a moment of revival with like appreciation for the movies, and so especially the first movie and so on, that Magic's kind of taking advantage of here. And the last Ninja Turtles movie they came out with, not the Michael Bay ones, but the animated one, was like considered really very good. So I don't know. I just think that's an interesting point about how the culture, and maybe obviously I'm in my late 30s now. We're getting older, but it's like fully watched it sort of switch over to millennials are the mainstream, almost is a way to put it.
I mean, they are, right? As baby boomers are aging out, Gen Z's or Gen X, sorry, is kind of getting passed over because
it's just millennials are just running
spending.
it. Yeah,
millennials are going to
like
inherit most of that
50.
baby boomer wealth. Yeah.
Yeah, like millennials are not young, so
yeah, they're 40-year-olds now.
Yeah, that's why you
30.
see Matt.
I'm
Like
at the end of
Backstreet,
it.
Backstreet Boys is
Man.
killing it. Like Backstreet Boys is huge. So like, take that for what it's worth, right? They're way bigger than they were in 2010. And it's
Nostalgia
because
farming is real.
right, because of those people. Like you call it nostalgia farming, but it's like those people have money now. Then those people get to go do the thing with the Backstreet Boys they never got to do when they were teenagers because because they weren't adults, you know?
Or because their parents wouldn't let them go to a concert by themselves because they were 12.
Yeah. So like it's nostalgia farming, but like it's also just like literally responding to what the consumer is asking for in the market. And that's
Shout
kind
out
of
to
what
all
all
the
of
parents
this
out
comes
there.
down to.
Get your 12-year-olds to concerts. Leave them there alone. Turn your
Yeah,
phone
what could
off.
go
Just give them
wrong?
the whole if you want them to have this like retro, authentic experience, turn your phone off. Don't answer their calls, no matter how desperate. Like ignore the cops when they show up at your door. Like just let your 12-year-old breathe. Like they're a blossoming young adult, and let them just kind of like experience the world for themselves. And like if there's some sheer terror involved in that, that's just you got omelets and cracking eggs. You know, like
Yeah.
I
mean,
well, there
stuff
is a lot.
happens.
The term that comes to mind is safetyism in the world today, where things are engineered to remove liability and potential hurt rather than anything else. And there's a lot of autonomy that's lost from children. Not to be all like kids need to go play outside, but I just mean just like
But no,
literally the
like,
structure
there's
of
a-
the world is different.
There's a whole thing about playgrounds versus just playing in the woods.
Yes,
that
and
whole
like
structure, right?
playgrounds and like my family spends an amount of time, like we're headed back to the Netherlands for a few weeks this summer, and when we go we don't stay in, we go get like an Airbnb in a small town, and we spend a lot of time just like on random playgrounds in Europe over the years, and they're just literally designed different than the United States. Like the things in design in the United States are designed so that no one can really have anything happen, but they also can't like it's just not the same level of ingenuity, maybe
bring back
like
lead
creativity.
paint is what Corbin's saying. Corbin's saying,
Creativity
bring
is
back
the
the
word.
lead paint. Bring back the sharp objects.
No, I
Like,
just think
I
it's a
mean,
very interesting
there's a value
American
to it.
culture thing.
Like, if this is a deck list we're talking about, we're adding 1 copy of lead paint and removing 1 copy of tetanus shots. 100%. Like, let's just.
Like, but there is a certain truth to that, right? Like, you want the kid to learn to, like, you know,
Fear.
break their arm. Like, nobody wants their
Yes.
kid to break their arm, but you'd rather your kid
Yes.
break their arm learning to not jump off the 8-foot tall slide
Right.
than to do something incredibly more stupid and not learn that risk reward ratio before all of a sudden they're in a
Exactly.
car and a teenager and their risk reward ratio results in them and the people in the car dying.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about our sponsor before we get into Breaking Bulk, because when we get into Breaking Bulk, that is the place
Corbin, you.
that
You.
oh
you,
go oh
you,
no, what
you
I do?
could have. You had the softball pitch of speaking of breaking arms.
No, I want
Let's break some balls.
that was like
Yeah.
saddish. That was solemn. So you have to have a hard transition away from it, not make light of it.
A hard
Come on,
transition
TV
like a bone
101.
snapping.
I watch a lot of YouTube radio shows. 101. Brainstorm Brewery on YouTube. Check us out. You know, the ones I watch on YouTube have huge fancy studios. That could be us one day.
It could be.
We're all in different
Just-
states. You know that, right?
Patreon.com/BSB.
We could have in-house studios. Like, you just have a 5x5 section of the
JJ
studio.
JJ already has a podcast studio. He bought his house from a former Republican congressman, and now he has a podcast studio.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it works, right? Like, you just...
The dead animals
was
are
like-
off screen. Don't worry, folks.
Yeah, I mean, they made me take my guns down in order to go on the podcast.
Yeah, speaking of, did you all see the Burger King and McDonald's CEO eat off?
No.
I saw the McDonald's one. I did not see the Burger King.
The
I did
Burger
not know
King-
there was a Burger King one.
Burger King dropped one today or yesterday responding with their CEO or whoever actually enjoying their food. Yeah, JJ,
That's-
there's a viral video going around of the McDonald's CEO trying out their new hamburger or whatever, and he keeps calling it a product, which is not the best way to go about describing your food. And then he just like takes a little nibble, and he does not look like he's enjoying it at all, and then just gives a shitty description of it. It's just so cringy. I cannot believe that like they put it out, but they probably
It's
were like,
like-
"This is."
it's
They probably
literally
were
the
like,
Simpsons
"This is
gag
shit."
with
Yeah.
the clown. Like I think
The
I
crusty
swallowed some of the
burger.
juice.
I bet the team that put it out was like, this is bad, but he took time out of his day to come do this, and if we don't put it out, he'll be like, what the fuck? I did great.
Well, at a
So,
certain point,
like-
you have that sunk cost mentality, right? Like,
Well, you just want to keep your job.
I ate the terrible food. You better put that video on the.
No, yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
this-
I mean, like
wait,
the
we
social
can-
team.
We can tie this up full circle. This is why you let your kids post on social media very young, so they can learn the mistakes
No, it is not.
of
No, it is not.
so they can have small risk-averse decisions, and then so they don't grow up to megalomaniac corporate CEOs posting the Squidward trying a Krabby Patty meme in real life. Like,
Everything DJ just said is proof that we are the asbestos generation, but with social media.
Hey,
Some
no,
breaking-
no. We need a better transition because no one's gonna like that. Let's break some bulk.
Breaking bulk time.
I have an
Let's break
Ice
some
Age
bulk.
Red common question mark. Hang on.
No one knows, DJ.
Yeah,
We
DJ, you're gonna have to
preemptively
lower the difficulty for this crowd.
We
Ice Age
preemptively have
Red
6.
common that is a creature. It was drawn by Dan Frazier. Its flavor text is a quote by Toothlicker, if that helps.
The famous magic character Toothlicker.
What'd you say? It's a red uncommon creature?
Red common creature from Ice Age.
Ice Age?
Has a couple
Kevorkian
reprints.
Ravager.
What?
I don't know.
Whatever you said, no. The answer is no.
Yackle Hops Pup.
All right, hold on. I think we can get there. We can backwards
No, we
get
can't.
there.
Go ahead.
Right? Like, so Adhikar
We
was
absolutely,
blue-white.
we absolutely cannot, but go ahead.
Sulphur Springs was like the location.
Oh,
of the
Sulphur
red
Springs is
color
the
is
red black
this?
dual land in
I
Ice
can
Age,
do this
yes.
game.
Okay.
What color is this we're doing? Red?
so we're
Red common?
red common. So it's
Red
got
common
a,
from Ice Age. It was in Dual Deck
Goblin-
Heroes versus Monsters.
Goblin
was-
War Drums.
It got a secret lair last year. No.
Oh, got a secret lair last year, and it was in Dual Decks Hero vs. Monsters.
Yeah.
Heroes versus
Invigorate.
monsters.
Invigorate's green, and it's from like Mercadian Masks.
DJ proving why I don't want to just like say
Red
names.
Invigorate.
No. This card is legal in green commander decks, though. Or it has a green mana symbol on it, I should say. It's not that it's legal in green commander, but it is a
okay.
red-green color identity card.
Oh,
Oh,
Orcish
okay, I got
Lumberjack.
you.
Orcish
Nope.
Lumberjack.
There you go. JJ got it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I was getting there because I was going to say Land Grant, and I was going to go through all of those from that Legacy deck.
Also, Mercadian Masks.
Yeah, but that would have got us there because that's the same Legacy deck. Yeah.
Orcish Lumberjack is a 1-mana red 1/1 tap, sacrifice a forest to add 3 mana in any combination of red and or green to your mana pool. Play this ability as an interrupt. So once you play your 4-mana commander on turn 2, actually a very powerful card. There's a lot of Jund-ish decks nowadays that care about lands sacrificing or hitting the graveyard. This is the Planet Station commander from Edge of Eternities. Lord Windgrace style nonsense. Card is pretty strong. It's still only like 50 cents to $1. So TCG market on the most affordable version is 88 cents. And then $1.30 for the dual deck version, $2.50 for the Cold Snap theme deck version with just that Dan Frazier art is incredible. Like anytime you have a Magic player who's like, Magic is a fantasy game with no technology, that is a goblin wielding the fucking evil machine from Fern Gully. Let me tell you, like that is a Fern Gully, Robin Williams approved buzzsaw evil smokestack machine being used to fell the forest. Quote, how did I ever let myself get talked into this project? Toothlicker Harge, Orcish Captain. And then the Phil Folio Secret Lair has a goblin eating a tree. That version is $10 to $15, depending on which version you like. Orcish Lumberjack, good card. Pick it out of your bulk.
Corbin, what do you got for us?
A Doctor Who colorless uncommon.
Paper. Name paper.
No.
That's actually a decent guess.
What do you mean, actually?
Well, like I just didn't expect you to like actually name something that was in Doctor Who.
Yeah, fair. JJ, what was go ahead.
What about it's going to be? I assume a screwdriver, like a sonic screwdriver.
It is not Sonic Screwdriver.
Is it
But
a
is it
screwdriver?
one of
Because there's
the
like
Sonic
6
drive-
screwdrivers.
Yeah. Is it one of the screwdrivers?
What does that mean?
Because he said,
Like, is
when
it
he
one
said,
of the
is it
Sonic
Sonic
screwdrivers?
screwdriver, you said no with a little smirk emoji, which means it is a screwdriver.
Oh, no, it's not a screwdriver anymore.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean anymore?
Not anymore.
Go ahead. Keep guessing.
Hold on. It's not a screwdriver anymore.
Corbin, if the card touches your hand, you can't miracle it. Nate, reveal the fucking card.
It's not, man. Go ahead. Keep guessing.
No, I'm not even close. I'm assuming
It could have
it's
been a
colorless-
screwdriver at one point.
Okay.
Like, it could have
Um,
parts of a screwdriver inside of it.
Now we're really into the Doctor Who lore that
I'm trying to
You
help
said it's
JJ out here,
colorless?
man.
Is it K9?
No, it's a creature.
Okay. Well, yeah, K9's a creature.
I know. I'm just telling you. It's an artifact creature.
Okay. Artifact creature. Oh, is it Cyberman? One of the Cybermen.
You got to do better than that.
Okay, hold on. Is it
I'm a champion.
Cyberman?
There's only 2
Foundry? I don't
Cybermen,
know
and he
what it
picked
was.
the uncommon one. He's not picking the rare Ultra Myriad one. He got it right, Corbin, you sore little loser.
There's only 2. I'm not a loser. I won. There's only 2 Cybermen in the whole set. I didn't know that.
There's Cyberman
There's
Patrol and
Cyberman
Cyberman
Patrol.
Squadron.
It's Cybermen Patrol. It's $5.
Yeah.
That's not true, though, DJ. There are a lot of Cybermen.
Or $3, depending on which art version you get.
Yeah. Anyway, check it out. Doctor Who has actually quietly had a number of cards spike up. Most recently, as you know, a character we're all very familiar with, Sergeant John Benton, is like $5 now. It's a rare from Doctor Who. That was previously
Corbin, what tool
25
are you
cents.
using to determine how many Cybermen are in
Ooh.
Doctor Who?
I'm going to MTG Band. That's the one, DJ. Why is that the place we go?
I pitched it to you. Can you? Am I the only one with the strength of an artifact creature that gives afflict 3? Like I have to
DJ's
do
never
all
played
the-
catch.
Never played cat. What?
No.
He threw it to me, and he's like, "How? You threw it back?"
That
What is
meme
this?
only makes sense if you're a good dad.
Listen, I know DJ. I know for a fact DJ can talk all about how MTG Band is great and wonderful and get into the intricacies and details of how, as a person who does a lot of vending, he can quickly use Scryfall's syntax and look up entire sheets and upload CSV files to be able to get and give quick quotes to people on what he can do for their collections. As an end user who doesn't buy a bunch of cards, MTG Band's also incredibly useful for being able to figure out, where is this card trending? Is this something I want to buy into now? Like, or I want to sell my cards. Like, I know we all talk about certain websites paying better than others on buy list, or ways to kind of maximize your buy list value. Well, MTG Band's going to help you do that even further, because believe it or not, it's not always that one website that pays you the most money. Sometimes it's going to be Star City. Sometimes it's going to be
somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Yeah. I'm not going to give them
typical
free
band settings
advertisement.
have-
Pay us.
My typical band settings have Card Kingdom, Star City, Strike Zone, Haruya.
Yeah. And I mean-
that is my default options to sort of get the general vibe of the market for a certain card. Recently, I was building a silly commander deck, and I looked up Vivi's Persistence on mtgband.com. TCG low for that card is $38. TCG market is $37. Card Kingdom will pay you $45 for that card. And that is just the algorithm running wild, because the card is very hard to buy. It's only available in the Chocobo bundle thingies, which also, if you go to mtgband.com, you can just click a button on below the card and it'll tell you everything that the card is from. So if you're like, what commander deck is this in? Or which precon does this card come in? There's a button on band to do that. It'll just, let's just open this entire precon and see what's in it, that kind of thing. I needed a copy of Viva's Persistence. I still need a copy of Viva's Persistence because I'm not paying Card Kingdom $75 for one. I had some CK credit left over, and I was like, oh, there's a bunch of things where CK is comparable to the rest of the market. With a band, help me figure out. Let's just load up a cart with cards that CK is not overtly charging it. Infinity on Viva's Persistence, they are charging Infinity on, which means they will pay you half of Infinity to get it, which is still Infinity.
That's a lot of Infinity.
Also, if you're a European user or a listener to this podcast, a ban will give you the card market prices so you can check European versus US arbitrage. There's a bunch of people in ban who will help you arbitrage between countries if you are into that kind of thing. So card market price on Viva's Persistence is under 30. That is a good arbitrage number. You go from like 28 to 45. Very good numbers.
All right, so check it out.
All right.
We checked out Ninja Turtles pre-releases over the weekend. At least JJ and I did. DJ, did you get a chance to gamer?
I did not attend a pre-release. I did nothing this weekend.
Oh, well, good for you. That's nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's great too. I went to a pre-release. We sold out Friday night. It was our second ever pre-release, so obviously small sample size here, but we sold out all of our kits at 30, and then a couple people played with just booster packs. It was a lot of fun. The set seems like it plays pretty well. You know, I share flavor gripes about there being too many named turtle cards in the set, so you end up with like 3 different Leonardos on board and sealed kind of thing. But it did feel like it played pretty well.
It's super fun. I learned personally that Umezawa's Jitte still good in
Still good, you say? Oh,
still good. Turns out when you put it on a creature, it doesn't matter what they do. The counters stay on the equipment.
Who knew? Yeah, I've
Who
gotten
would've
people with
guessed?
that card a few times in Cube, and it goes around way late. I think people just kind of
They assume it's been
anyone who
power
started
crept up.
playing Magic in the past 10 years doesn't understand just how stupid JIT is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you started playing
But-
Magic in the last 5 years, you haven't even had much chance to Cube.
Well, you just assume, right? Like if you've been playing Magic in the modern era, that the
Yeah.
counters would go on the creature, right? And that you'd use the ones on the creature to
Oh,
they wouldn't stay
sure, I
on the
guess.
equipment.
I don't even
They
mean
wouldn't
like
stay
that.
on the
I just mean
equipments.
like, that's just reading the card, right? But like, I just mean the actual power of it. Like I had a game a while back where I went through like 16 JIT counters and used all 3 of modes on it multiple times to survive and win this game. And it was just like a game that nothing else but exactly Umezawa's JIT could have won.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was a cool one. I did not have anything like that. I had a pretty straightforward deck. When I went 3-0, but it's a pre-release, right? A lot of new players in my area.
Right.
You just kind of curve out. You win a lot of games. I'm really excited to draft it. I've drafted one online, but I haven't got to play it yet. We will see how it plays out. Now, the one thing to say about this set is that it won't really have a ton of exposure. Not only is the next pre-release like 6 weeks away or something ridiculous or whatever, there's also not a lot of high-level events tied to this set. I think there's the Ninja Turtles Spotlight happening this weekend, and then I imagine there's one the next weekend, but there's no Pro Tour. I don't believe there's a huge regional championship, standard cycle, or anything like that before the next standard set comes out.
The next big
so I
event
do think-
is Vegas in end of April or early May.
Yeah, and that's post Strixhaven, which I imagine is going to be pretty impactful. So yeah, I think this set is going to kind of just flow into the ether, to be honest. I don't know if it'll be talked about a ton 6 months from now, especially if not a lot of the cards become relevant. But I guess we'll see this weekend in the Spotlight Series in Richmond, which is where I'll be heading, what that looks like. I mean, because that's standard. We'll see how many people come out. I don't know how many people are going to have, card issues. It's a lot easier now than it used to be, given that you can start buying stuff at pre-release or whatever. So hopefully that doesn't become an issue, and hopefully we see some cool stuff break out. But it's also possible the whole set just kind of slides on by.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Like, I mean, obviously, when you're running an event like that, it's probably more worth it. You can price things at a level where busting boxes is worth it for you. But
Saffron Olive actually gave the collector booster boxes a good review when he opened them. Said it was one of the better collector booster boxes experiences of the last several years, and that it wasn't just chasing a $10,000 card or $1,000 card. It felt like there were more mid-level hits.
yeah,
That was his experience with boxes.
I had two people at my pre-release crack collector booster boxes based off of that information, and they both lost money terribly. They lost like $100 each.
I mean,
so I mean, like,
at
that's
some
just
point,
the
at
gambling
some point,
aspect
well,
of it.
right?
They
it's-
didn't lose $100. They paid $100 to have an
$100.
experience.
You're right,
Also,
you're
they
right.
didn't
That's the
do
better way to
any
put it.
of that. They just paid money to open magic packs, which is a thing we do. Not everything is a business. Opening your box of magic cards is not a business, except for us.
Except for the people who it is a business.
See, I'm
Fair
the
enough.
psychopath in this scenario. I have been going to casual Commander F&M where the entry is, hey, buy a pack from us. And I just put the pack in my backpack and then toss it in a box when I get home. And it will stay there for
Bro,
likely
your
until I
LGS
die.
needs to step it up. We give people a pack to come in and play Commander.
Ooh, that's hot.
Shout out to Breakpoint.
Yeah,
I just want
I
people
mean,
in the store, man.
I think this set's going to be interesting to see. I think the limited format's going to be tough. That's been my experience so far. It is feast or famine. Like, when you're drafting, if you hit your lane, like, it feels like you have to pick your lane very early and hope that nobody else also picked your lane, because moving off of your picks in a pick 2 format when there are only 5 color pairs and not 10.
What is this pick 2
Um,
crap, man? Ain't nobody gonna be doing pick 2.
I mean, my conjecture as to what it's about, I don't know if this has actually been stated anywhere, but logically this makes sense to me. The most common commander pod is 4 people.
Yeah, no, I
Right?
get it. I
You
understand
can do
the
an
appeal.
8-person draft with 4 people if everybody's pick 2ing. So
I get it. Yes.
the idea is to try to get commander players to do a draft instead of playing a commander game or whatever, because somebody brought some play boosters.
Yes, that is the point of the pod. Yeah, the pod. Yes.
But it does. I don't know how it works. Like, I think it's a problem of the combination. I don't think pick 2 is inherently like not good. I think pick 2 and there not being enough overlap, where like you only have 5 archetypes instead of 10 archetypes in the set. So creatures don't multi-archetype as much, which means you get punished a lot more if you don't take all of the artifacts, because you're in the red-blue artifact deck. So somebody else just taking 1 or 2 out of every pack because they're good cards and they're just figuring out where they want to be ends up being a lot more punishing.
Interesting. I just have no intention of ever drafting pick 2, so not a problem for me. Not thought
that's
about
fair.
how. I doubt that Wizards has done a lot of thought of how balancing for pick 2 works either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least the LGS I've been going to, that's what they did for Spider-Man. They've said that's what they're going to do for TMT, that's what the set is designed for. So as long as
I'm sure
Wizards
there
keep
is
selling it,
another
that's what it's designed
Rosewater
for.
blog buried somewhere that explains this, or some Wizards article, but like the move away from small sets because they have historically been disasters into the whiplash of Spider-Man and TMNT both being small sets, when I think a lot of players' feedback for these sets, even if they are the best set, like very, very good selling sets, is like, hey, I would have loved this if it was for commander decks like Warhammer or just Secret Lairs, or if it was like just a bonus sheet on another set like Jurassic Park. Like, there is that feedback, but I don't know what Wizards' logic is in trying to ham-fist small sets to be a thing.
I think that there's probably something more simple going on here, which is that Spider-Man and TMNT were meant to be universes beyond whatever products like Assassin's
Aftermath
Creed.
style sets.
Yes, that
Yeah.
got
I knew
shoehorned.
Spider-Man was meant to be an Aftermath set. I did not know if that was also true
I don't
for
know
TMNT.
that. I don't know if that's true for TMNT, but given the bloated release schedule for this year, the fact that this set seems to share a lot of issues that Spider-Man did, and the fact that it's really, really shoehorned into a tiny window with nothing major outside of the one weekend like applied to it, tells me that when they originally concepted these things 3 years ago, it was probably supposed to be an Aftermath style set. Now, they had more time to fix it than they did Spider-Man, clearly. But that, again, that's totally speculation, I guess, on my part.
Because Norman got pushed back to give it room to breathe.
Correct. Like, things got changed around in the release schedule when they made this shift. So I think what happened is they probably had these things conceptualized as one thing. Aftermath style set was such a disaster that they then had these sets that were either going to be Aftermath style sets or were going to be Assassin's Creed style sets. And they made a decision higher up in the chain that we need to have everything route through standard because we have all these new players coming in and we need them to buy the new product and not buy a Commander Precon and then never interact with us again, right? That we need them to come through the pipeline. And that's how you end up with Universes Beyond in standard. But I think then the downstream effect of that is probably sets like Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles not having the full treatment that they would have had they originally been concepted as a large set with a full room to breathe a la Final Fantasy. Now, I could be completely wrong about all of that. It is just speculation. Yeah, it is just speculation for why the two sets seem to share a lot of similarities while also like being in this weird spot on the when the calendar got changed and there's a ton of stuff on the calendar.
If for some reason they felt the need to expand TMNT into a full set, I don't, this is baseless speculation on my end. I don't have any information or inside information about like their decision-making process. And I could very well be proven wrong based off of some post from Blogatog or tweet or something from a Magic employee that I'm not aware of. But it feels a little bit like with WotC, we know is being selective in their Universes Beyond work. We know that. And it feels a little bit like they're offering, hey, do you want the bonus sheet package? Do you want the small set package? Or are you going to fork over the extra money to get the large set package?
My guess would be that we just only have large sets from now on.
Maybe.
Or at some
but
point,
like they've
once
clearly
they
had
exhaust
different tiers prior
because I think
to
that
this.
the consistent feedback to Wizards is that people don't like the small sets and
But
whatever
some
we
people
think
might
about.
just want a secret lair dollop of like SpongeBob where it's
Right. Yeah.
Right. And they can, but so I think that the Universes Beyond properties that become sets will likely be full sets if it's true that these just kind of got in a weird spot on the transition.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. But we'll see. Obviously the future is in flux because like obviously a lot has changed with Magic in the past 5 years. It's gotten much bigger. What they're doing with Universes Beyond has changed. How they're handling reprints and everything has changed, et cetera, et cetera. But I do know that everything flowing through standard is a good sign of a commitment to standard because people always assume that like we can complain about something and it'll fix it. Like sometimes you complain about something and they just stop doing it instead, you know? So I always like you can't always fix something that way, right? Like sometimes you have to evolve what you have to make it work, right? And regardless of how you feel about Universes Beyond, it is objectively positive in my opinion that it now routes everyone through standard as opposed to straight into Commander, the worst way to learn how to play Magic.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about our picks of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
We've got Richmond, as mentioned, coming up this weekend. DJ, I believe, will be there. I will be there. Cass will be there, ?
yes.
All right. It's going to be a party in Richmond, which is hopefully a little warmer than it was last time around. So I have a card that is not going to be there this weekend. This card's from Zendikar Rising, and it is starting to spike for the first time in a while. But Glasspool Mimic has never been reprinted. It is $6 and climbing after being $5 about a month ago. It is extremely powerful. I'm shocked that more of these cards from Zendikar Rising, the original one to do land, creature, spell combinations where you can play it as either, aren't more expensive just because of the utility of them. Now, maybe Commander players don't value the utility of a tapped land that can also sometimes be a clone the same way the rest of us do who have been grinding. But either way, it is starting to climb. Glasspool Mimic is at $6.
I have recently found a love for these because one of the commander decks I recently built for my relapse has been Hidetsugu from Neon Dynasty, and it's just a big mana spell the deck. And so I'm playing like 29 lands or something, but 6 of them are modal double-faced cards.
Yeah.
So I play all the Dark Confidants, the Parker Luck, the Protection Racket,
gosh.
all of the rooms are very nice from Duskborn because they're all 8 or 9 mana. And so every time you flip your top card or like play a Combustible Gearhulk, it's, well, do you want to see what my top 3 are? And it's always like 20 damage. Like the red-black Modern Horizons 3 card is like 8 mana. It's also a land on the backside, so it's just an 8 mana land that I get to play for free.
That's fun.
Very, very, very fun deck. So I recently had to acquire Shatter Skull Smashing and Agadeems, or pulled them from my inventory to put them in the deck. And it's like, I just want as few lands in the deck as possible because, oop, that's a Boggart Trawler. It's 3 damage for you.
You got Volcanic Awakening?
I don't know which one that is.
It's the instant speed wheel for yourself.
No, because I'm only playing the ones that come in untapped, basically. The 3 life
that's
ones.
reasonable. Yeah, that's reasonable. And that's the ones that the uncommon cycle, the sink into super cycle or whatever, are really powerful because they can come into play untapped. And that is probably part of the reason why Glasspool Mimic has stayed more affordable, is because it came into play tapped, but not anymore. It's starting to climb. All right, JJ or DJ, why don't you go next? We'll let JJ finish this week.
One of my favorite tools on ban is the sealed product EV calculator. Once Turtles releases, you'll be able to use this product calculator to type in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Play Booster Box. It'll give you the expected value, TCG player price, card market price of what you can open from that box. And I use this a lot to buy commander decks for people. One of the commander decks I have most bought in my life is the Modern Horizons 3 Tricky Terrain deck. It is a blue-green land soup deck that just has a bunch of good staples. It's got like Yavimaya, the green Urborg. It's got Vestiva. It's got Avenger of Zendikar, which is basically a bulk rare now, which is crazy. It's got just so much good stuff in it. And if you look up the price of that deck, Card Kingdom's got them for $50. TCG players like 55-ish. Your LGS might have them for $50 as well. The TCG EV of these is 75. You can just crack them and list them. That's you can just do that now, and that's a thing you can do, is use ban, figure out what the good tools are, and you can even just use ban to look up Moxfield deck lists from other people who have modified precon. So if somebody's like, hey, I have a tricky terrain deck, I slightly altered it, here's my Moxfield list, you just ask them, hey, are the versions on these accurate? Are all of the cards English? Yes. Great. Copy paste the Moxfield link into ban. Now you have the CK BIOS, the Star City BIOS, the Strike Zone BIOS for all of these cards and the whole deck itself, and you can make them a reasonable offer based on TCG low matched against the current market data. So super easy to use. I have recently bought some tricky terrain decks because it's free money. It's not free money. It's It's give me $50, then you eventually get $80 or something. But it's pseudo free money if you have capital.
Nice. For me, I just wanted to really draw attention to a card that is beginning to see some movement, and that is Aftermath Analyst. It's been sitting around, it's a breaking bulk presently, largely, it's your 50 cents. But we've seen the buy list on it start drying up, and CK is now offering 80 and 80. I think it's peaked out at 85. It's right, or 80. It's peaked out at 80 right now to buy up copies. But everybody's buy list is now getting to where it is over like your TCG low and you're below your TCG market on these major buy list buyers, which is leading me to think that they were finally seeing supply drying up, and that this card is going to finally hit the movement to where it gets to the level that I think Jason and others who have been calling this card for a long time looking at it and going, this card.
I do like this card a lot. It is very, very good in modern Amulet Titan soup, Amulet also land soup decks. It's very good in the tricky terrain style deck that I mentioned before. The biggest hurdle this card has to clear is it was in an Edge of Eternity's precon that was recently reprinted a lot. A lot of the Edge of Eternity's precons just got reprinted over the past several months, and that's why you see the graph on this card on MTG Band just kind of in the dirt for the past like 6 months. Like, it used to be a $2, $3, $4 card, and now it's like $1. I do think it is a good buy, but I think you have to wait a while and let it cook, and you have to cross your fingers it does not get double whammied. If it does not get double whammied, I think this card's graph could look similar to Untimely Malfunction, which is an absurdly expensive card now. That card is like $8. It's an uncommon from Duskmourn. If anyone didn't know that, it's 1 in red instant. It has 3 different modes, the most common of which are redirect, and so change any target of a spell or ability. You can shatter an artifact, or you can make 1 or 2 creatures not block this turn. The card slices, it dices, it does everything. That's an $8 uncommon from Duskmourn. I think Aftermath Analyst could go on that trajectory if it continues to dodge reprints.
Right. Which is always the caveat anymore.
Yeah, but I mean that it is a
but
more
even more so when
card,
you're buying
I think, than others.
50-cent cards. Yeah. And when you're buying 50-cent cards, you know, you can end up getting splinter frighted out of all of your money.
Such is life. Worth the story. Easily pay $100 for that story again, even
Absolutely.
in the $13 or whatever it was. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for us this week. JJ, we want to thank you for coming on to the show, as always, and editing, because there was definitely some back-end editing you had to do for this one. If you are in Richmond, you can come out to cheer on Cass in the event. You can come say hi to DJ, come say hi to me. I'll just be floating around with my phone, honestly, doing work on my phone. It'll look like I'm not working at all, but I am working. That's what I'll be up to. So, hey, come out to Richmond and say hi. Go check out MTG Band. And, of course, we appreciate all of our patrons at patreon.com/BSB.
Check out next week's episode that we'll have Jason on to talk about turtles. Jason is a big turtle enjoyer. Jason Alt, the legend, the myth, the man will be back.
See you next week, everybody.
See ya.